Hello students, in this session I would like to discuss some fundamentals of mathematics which are useful for the students who are moving from 10th standard to 11th standard, especially those students who are preparing for or aspiring for JEE Mains and Advanced. So in this session, firstly I would like to start with one of the basic mathematical tools that is useful in mains and advanced, that is inequalities. Inequalities. So you already know about an equality. If I write x equal to 2, some variable x equal to 2, this is a simple equality where the value of x takes the value 2, isn't it? So what is the meaning of inequality? Maybe if I write less than 2, or x less than or equal to 2, or greater than 2, or x greater than or equal to 2. These are all called as inequalities. Or else you can write also something like this: minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 2. Or you can write it minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. You know, many ways are possible like this. So before going deeper into this particular inequalities, let us try to understand what is the meaning of intervals. Open interval. What is the meaning of closed interval? What is the meaning of semi-open or semi-closed interval? In fact, we use intervals to represent some inequalities. When I write minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2, there is another representation for this particular inequality. The meaning of this one is x takes all the values greater than or equal to minus 1 or less than or equal to 2. So in fact, it takes all the real numbers between minus 1 and 2, including minus 1 and 2. But in interval notation, how can I represent this particular inequality? In that case, we use intervals to represent inequalities. Now, let us try to understand what is the meaning of open interval, closed interval, and semi-open and semi-closed. First one, open interval. Open interval. When I write a variable x belongs to, using some normal brackets, parentheses, a comma b, of course a is less than b. This is called as open interval. What is this? This is called as open interval. Open interval means I take all the values of x between a and b, but I will not include a as well as b. So open means I will not include. Closed means I will include. For example, if I take a real number line, plus infinity, minus infinity, real line or real numbers or real number line all are same. So this is called as real line or real number line. So which consists of all the real numbers. Usually we take it as x-axis in coordinate geometry. Now let me consider a and b on this real number line because a is less than b. So, and one more thing, when you are writing an interval, you must always write the smaller value at the left side and the greater value at the right side. You understand my point? When I write, when a is less than b, and if I want to take all the real numbers between a and b, since a is the least value, I should write least value at the first, and then in the former position you have to write the greatest value. Understood? So a, b. So what is the meaning of this one? I said if I use this bracket, this is called as open interval. Open interval means I take all the values of x right side of A and left side of B. That means between A and B. Understood? So, and I said I won't include A and B. And in maths, usually we use bubble. Bubble means I am not including those values. Understood? So when you write bubble, it means that I will not include, does not include A and B, but I will take all the values of x between A and B. So these are the values of x belongs to AB open interval. Open interval means I will not include that particular value, but I will take all the values of x between A and B. And just now I told you, you can also write this particular interval as something like this using inequality. A less than x less than B. You understood? So right side of A greater than A, less than B, greater than A, less than B. Understood? And here I do not put equality because there is open interval. Open interval means no equality. Understood? No equality. You can remember it like this. You understood? So I hope now you understood the meaning of open interval. So open interval means I will not include the extreme values. A and B are also called as extreme values of this particular interval. So here I am not including the extreme values or the end values. Understood? The reason we are using open interval. So in open interval I will not include the extreme values, but I will take all the values between the extreme values. Understood? So this is all about open interval. Similarly, we will try to understand closed interval. When I say closed interval, what is the meaning of this one? So usually we use square bracket for closed interval, and I'll assume A less than B. So what is the meaning of this one? Just now I told you open interval means I don't include extreme values, that is end values, but in closed interval I will include the end values. So here if I take again a real number line, minus infinity plus infinity, this is A and this is B. Now obviously either open interval or closed interval, definitely I will take all the values between the end values, isn't it? So A and B are the end points, end values, and A is less than B. So definitely I will include all the values between A and B, and I will include A and B also. So if you are including any number on the real number line, we use dot. So for closed interval, if you are using closed bracket at any extreme point or at any end point, we must use dot. Bubble means I am not including the values. Dot means I am including A and B. So here I will include A as well as B. Understood? So now X represents all these values as well as A and B also. In the former case, I said between A and B I will take the values, but I will not include A and B because that is the open interval. So open interval means I will not include the extreme values. Closed interval means I will include the extreme values if you have closed brackets at both the ends. Understood? So I hope you understood the meaning of closed interval. Now again, if I take the same example and I can write this closed interval as something like this using inequality. A less than or equal to x less than or equal to b. I hope you understood this. These two are same, but the representation is different. Here I am using closed brackets, interval, but here I am using inequality. So these two are one and the same. Closed interval a comma b means I will take all the values of x between A and B, as well as I am including A and B also. That's why I am using equality. So whenever there is closed bracket, you have to use equality. Whenever there is open bracket, you should not use equality. Understood? So these are closed brackets. This one or this one, these are open brackets. Understood? So when you find this bracket, it means that it is a closed interval. When you find this bracket, it means that it is an open interval. Understood? So this is the difference between open interval and closed interval. Now, having understood these 2 points, open interval and closed interval, let us try to understand semi-closed or semi-open interval. So it is also very simple. For example, if I take x belongs to open interval A, closed interval B, or x belongs to closed A, open B. I am taking 2 examples, A less than B. So it need not be sure that every time you get closed intervals or only open intervals both sides, at both the extremes. See here, at A you have open interval, at B you have closed interval. Similarly here you have closed interval at A, open interval at B. So how to represent this one? It's also very simple. A, B, using the same logic. X belongs to open interval A, closed interval B means what? I will take all the values between A and B. Since I have open bracket at A, I should not include A, so I will put bubble at A. Similarly, closed B means I will write dot at B. Understood? So I hope you understood this one. X belongs to open A, closed B. So what is the meaning of this one? All the values of X between A and B, including B, but not including A. So excluding A, including B. Understood? So here, excluding A and including B. And in inequality format, can I write it like this? A less than X less than or equal to B. Understood? See, at A you should not use, you are not supposed to use equality because there is open bracket. Less than or equal to B. At B you have closed bracket. Understood? So similarly, plus infinity minus infinity. This is A and this is B. Again closed A, open B. Again same thing. All the values of X between A and B. But A I have dot. But at B I should use bubble. So in this case I will include A, I will exclude B. Understood? And the remaining values between A and B are same. So therefore the same thing can be written as something like this: A less than or equal to X less than B. Understood? So because at A we have closed interval, so that's why I am using A less than or equal to X. At B I have open interval, so I am not using equality. So open means you are not supposed to use equality. Closed means you have to use equality. Now you understand the difference between this notation and this notation. This is interval notation. This is inequality notation. Understood? So both are same actually. Understood? So these two notations are same. These two notations are same. I hope you understand semi-closed or semi-open interval also. So far we have discussed open interval, closed interval, as well as semi-closed, semi-open interval. Understood? Now we'll just extend this further. Let me take one example. X less than or equal to 3. X less than 3. X greater than or equal to 3. So these are three inequalities I have given. So X is some variable which is less than or equal to 3. And I want to denote this inequality in interval format. Okay. So now it's very simple. Again take real number line minus infinity plus infinity. Somewhere here you will have 3. What is the meaning of X less than or equal to 3? All the values. X is the all real numbers which are less than 3 are equal to 3, isn't it? So these are the all the real numbers which are less than 3 up to minus infinity, and since there is equality, I said I have to use closed bracket, that means dot. Understood? So these are the values. So in interval form, can I write it like this? X belongs to open minus infinity closed 3. And one more thing, whenever you are using brackets at minus infinity and plus infinity, it is always a open interval bracket. Understood? Because I do not know where minus infinity is or where plus infinity is. Understood? So whenever you are using minus infinity or plus infinity, you should use open bracket. So the meaning of this one is the maximum value of x is 3, isn't it? In fact, interval will give me the range of the variable, isn't it? What is the meaning of range? Minimum value to maximum value. So here maximum value is what? 3. Maximum value is 3. But here minimum value I don't know. Understood? So that's why I am writing x belongs to open interval minus infinity comma closed interval 3. And I hope this is clear to you. Now similarly, if I denote this one, minus infinity plus infinity, same thing actually, but the only difference is, what is the meaning of x less than 3? X belongs to all real numbers which are less than 3. Understood? So that means, but at 3 I have to put bubble. Why? There is no equality. That means I have to use open interval. So definitely can I write this one as x belongs to minus infinity comma 3. Is it correct? X belongs to minus infinity comma 3. Now similarly the last one, again the same logic, minus infinity plus infinity, and this is 3. What is the meaning of x greater than or equal to 3? All the real numbers which are greater than 3 are equal to 3. So since there is equality, I have to include 3 and all the values which are greater than 3. So therefore, can I write this one as x belongs to 3? Minimum value is 3 because it is starting from 3 only, and maximum value I don't know, infinity. So that's why I have to use open interval. I hope you understand the difference between these three. Understood? So x less than or equal to 3, x less than 3, x greater than or equal to 3. Now, I will write one more inequality and we will try to understand how to represent that inequality using interval form. For example, minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. And I will take one more. Minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 1. Minus 1 less than x less than 1. Okay, now let me take here and here. Right? So again, the same logic. What is the meaning of this one? Minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. X is lying between minus 1 to 1. Both sides closed interval at the both ends, isn't it? Which means I have to include minus 1 as well as 1 also. So it is something like this. Minus infinity plus infinity. This is minus 1, this is plus 1. Understood? Now I said x represents all the real numbers between minus 1 and 1, including minus 1 and 1. So that means put minus 1 dot at minus 1 dot at plus 1 as well as all the numbers between minus 1 and 1. Understood? So this is something like this. So what is the meaning of this one? X belongs to minus 1 to 1. Can I write it like this? Minus 1 to 1 closed interval both sides. Why closed interval at both sides? Because equality is there at both ends. I hope you understand how to represent an inequality using interval format. Clear? Now similarly, if I take this one, minus infinity again plus infinity, minus 1 plus 1. Now again this is very simple. What is the meaning of this one? X takes all the real numbers between minus 1 to 1. But you should not include minus 1 as well as plus 1, because at both the ends we have open interval, because there is no equality. So which means that I will not include minus 1 and I will not include plus 1. I will take all the values between minus 1 to 1. Understood? So you understood this? So can I write it like this? X belongs to both the sides, it is open interval. Clear? Now similarly, the last one, minus 1, 1. Now again, what is the meaning of this one? X is again all the real numbers between minus 1 and 1, but include minus 1, exclude 1. Because you have equality at minus 1, you do not have equality at 1. So which means that put dot at minus 1, bubble at 1. Is it clear? So it is something like this. Correct? So that is, can I write it like this? X belongs to closed at minus 1, so I am using this bracket, and open at 1. So this is semi-open or semi-closed. It is closed interval, it is open interval. I hope you understood these 6 illustrations, which are very simple and very easy to understand how to represent an inequality using interval. Is it clear? So this is all about inequalities and intervals. Okay. Now let me take one more illustration which is different from these 6 illustrations so that it will be more clear to you. Now, first I will take inequality. Minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, or 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. This is one inequality I have given you. Now I want to represent this inequality in interval format. Understood? Minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, or 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. Now again, we will use the real number line so that it will be more clear. Or minus infinity plus infinity. Now let us locate these 3 points, minus 1, 0, 1. Okay. Now first look at this one and then we will come to this one later. Okay. Now what is the meaning of this one? Just now I told you in the previous illustrations, minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, which means that x takes all the real numbers between minus 1 and 0 and includes minus 1, but it will not include 0, because there is equality at left end, there is not equality at right end. So definitely I will put dot at minus 1 and there will be bubble at the 0. So this is that value, isn't it? So can I write this one as x belongs to closed minus 1 open 0? But you have to look at this one also. Even if you look at this in this inequality, r 0 open. For example, if there is equality, then we would have written this one as minus 1 to 1 directly, closed interval, because 0 is also included here. Understood? Even if 0 is not included here, 0 would have been included here. Understood? So now this is also open interval, 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. What is the meaning of this one? X takes all the real numbers between 0 to 1, but exclude 0, include 1. So again, bubble already is there up to 1, and at 1 I have to use bubble dot. Understood? So R, generally R means union. When I start set theory, I will tell you. In the next session, I will explain about sets. Okay. And in that sets, there is one notation called as U. It is called as union. Union means R. That means either this or this. That is, X takes either the values of values between minus 1 to 0, closed minus 1, open 0, or open 0 to closed 1. This is just a symbol. Okay. Now, can I write it like this? 0 to 1. 0 open, closed 1. So this can also be written as something like this. I hope this is clear to you. Understood? Now here one more point, one more important point. The same thing I can represent it something like this. X belongs to. Now if you look at this real number, what is the meaning of this one? If you club these two, Instead of writing separately, I want to write these two inequalities together, these two intervals together. If you observe this one, what is the meaning of this one? I am taking all the values of x, all the real numbers between -1 to 1, but only 0 is not included, isn't it? Only 0 is not there. So only at 0 you have some discontinuity. Understood? -1 to 1. I am taking all the values of x, but there is some voidness. There is some discontinuity at 0, but that means I can take all the values, all the real numbers between -1 to 1 except 0. So which means can I write it like this? X belongs to closed interval -1, 1. If I write only this one, this will not be equal to this one. Because if I write it like this and if I leave it like this, in this interval I am getting 0 also, because between -1 and 1 there will be 0. But according to this one, I should not include 0. Is it correct? Because -1 less than or equal to x less than 0. And again r 0 less than x less than or equal. That means -1 to 0, it was continuous. No problem. But at 0, there is some voidness. I am not including 0. Again after 0 to 1. So -1 to 1 except 0. That means I have to exclude 0. Again, this is the symbol to denote sets. I will explain this one in the next session. Okay. This is the symbol used to represent a set. That means it is like, what is the definition of set? Set is the well-defined collection of objects. Isn't it? What is the definition of set? Well-defined collection of objects. So when I write, generally set is denoted by capital A. When I write something like this, A, E, I, O, U. What is the meaning of this one? Set A represents the set of all vowels in English alphabet. They are defined properly, isn't it? So if you A, E, I, O, U, every element, every object in the set is called as element. Understood? A equal to, for example, this is one example. A, E, I, O, U. Now every element of the set belongs to set A, isn't it? Understood? So A equals to A, E, I, O, U. Similarly, for example, if I write another set, B equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. These are some 4 natural numbers. This is also one set, and this set is consisting of 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here also it is like a set -1 to 1. Between -1 to 1, how many real numbers will be there? Infinite real numbers will be there. So I cannot accommodate those real numbers in this set, because there might be infinite. There are infinite numbers between -1 to 1. So actually those type of sets are called as infinite sets. Okay. So I am taking all the elements between -1 to 1, but I am excluding 0. That's why I am removing that element 0. I hope you understand this notation clearly. These two are same, and this is also same as this one. And when I write 1 belongs to set B. So belongs to, actually this is something like this. I will write it like this. 1 epsilon is nothing but belongs to. Okay, this is the symbol used for belongs to. If some element is belongs to any set, I write it as 1 belongs to B. When I write like this, it means does not belongs to. Okay. So now I hope you understand inequality and how to write the inequality in the interval format, isn't it? Now I will explain more about set theory in the next class. Okay, right. Let us try to understand one illustration. Find the values of x square for the given values of x. So there are 3 questions. I think 4. X less than 2. Second one, x greater than -1. Third one, x greater than or equal to 2. Fourth one, x less than minus 1. Okay, now I'll explain this third one. Remaining three you can try on your own. Now he gave x values, x greater than or equal to 2. Now I want to find out the values of x square in interval form as well as in inequality form. Okay, so let us try to understand how to write x square when an inequality is given in terms of x. Okay, x is greater than or equal to 2. Now this is minus infinity, this is plus infinity. Now this is 2. First let me denote x values. So actually x greater than or equal to 2 means what? This can also be written as, just now I told you, x belongs to closer to open infinity, because all the values of all the real numbers greater than 2 are equal to 2. So I will include 2 also. Now even if I square these values, x square will be obviously greater than or equal to 4, isn't it? Because minimum value is 2. Now if I start squaring all these x values, obviously x square minimum value will be 4. So x square is greater than or equal to 4. So can I write it like this? X square belongs to closed interval 4 to open interval infinity. Is it clear? Now let me take second one also for more clarity. X greater than minus 1. Now again take the real number line. Minus infinity plus infinity. This is minus 1. There is no equality here, only x greater than minus 1. What is the meaning of x greater than minus 1? All the real numbers greater than minus 1, but I will not include minus 1. So I will put a bubble here. So all these values, isn't it? Now what would happen if I square this? Usually what we will write is x square greater than 1 by using this one, but this is wrong. This is wrong one. X square greater than 1 is wrong. I will tell you how. Let me erase this. I have x greater than minus 1 and I want to find out x square. Okay. Minus infinity plus infinity. Let me assume this is minus 1. Okay, greater than minus 1 means all these values. Now, greater than minus 1 means in between there will be 0 also. Isn't it? After minus 1 you will get 0. Now, I am taking all these values of x because bubble is there is no equality. And at 0, and of course, all these values, these are x values. Now, if I square these x values, okay, if you write x square greater than 1, which is wrong, this is 1 here. I am taking only these values. Is it correct? I am taking only these values greater than 1. Understood? But what about this 0 to 1? Because see, if you square this minus 1 to 0, if you square negative values between minus 1 to 0, this negative values between minus 1 to 0 will become 0 to 1. Is it correct? You understand my point? If x is between minus 1 to 0, for example, minus 1 to 0, closed interval. Okay. Now if I give you only x value between minus 1 to 0. Now if I square this one, what would happen? Negative values, if you square negative values will become positive values. So minus 1 to 0, if I square this one, maximum value will be 1. Isn't it? Minimum value will be 0. It will be like this. Is it correct? So 0 less than or equal to x square less than 1. Understood? So we are missing these values. If you write x square greater than 1, we are missing these values. See, 0 to 1 also must be included. I hope this explanation is clear. So ultimately, when you square x greater than minus 1, these negative values also will become positive. So finally, if you square x greater than minus 1, x square starts from 0. So 0 will be the minimum value of x square. So finally, x square will be greater than or equal to 0, which means that x square belongs to closed 0 to open infinity. I hope this illustration is clear to you. Okay, so that's it for today's session. I'll continue with FOM, that is Fundamentals of Mathematics, in the next session. Please stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. Thank you.